Some Skibidi Toilet characters went out with a bang, literally, never to return. Let's take a look at the ones who got flushed for good. We're kicking things off with an absolute fan favorite. He's big, he's a sweetheart, and he's the titan of all cameras. And now, he's a legend. He first popped up in episode 18 just to stomp the Camo Skibidi Toilet like a bug. Watch out for the boot. The Titan literally steps into battle, flexing his size. But his face is just way too friendly. Just look at him. Unfortunately, that cute face doesn't last long. G-Toilet ambushes him with a kamikaze fast-armored Skibidi Toilet. And just before it's GG for the Titan, he flies back to base.
Bye, have a great time.
Everyone, retreat!
G-Toilet might have thought this was a win, but what G.I. Joe's drunk uncle actually did was get the Titan a super upgrade. And come on, coming after a giant in medbay is just stupid. It took 27 episodes to see this cutie patootie again. But man, was it worth the wait. He comes back with style, power, and most importantly, the same friendly attitude. He helped save Titan Speakerman, crushed Decoy G-Toilet like it was nothing, and proved he's the kind of hero that shows up when it really counts. His death was the ultimate sacrifice, saving his bros without flinching. This king went out standing tall, never bowed and never broke. And even though the explosion was massive, some fans still don't buy it. There's a whole conspiracy that the Titan the Duchess talks about 2 episodes later might actually be Cameraman. Did he survive that blast? Or are fans just not ready to say goodbye? But hey, you don't have to be huge to make a splash. Plunger Man is one of the Alliance's most respected members, known for his bravery and his extreme recklessness. Before Plunger Man actually takes center stage, we catch glimpses of him twice in the series. In episode 43, he's enjoying the battle alongside the other cameras. And in 45, we see him crouched, taking cover, as a grey helicopter toilet flies overhead. But it's in episode 48 that he officially brands himself as Plunger Man. While others face danger with portable laser cannons, he takes on enemies with nothing but 2 plungers. And he never backs down, no matter how big the opponent is. Let's be real, sometimes he probably should, but if it ain't crazy and epic, it ain't Plunger Man. And he died by the same rules he lived by. Catch the bad guy no matter what. And he made his team proud, and the fans even prouder. And who better to talk about next than the evil scientist himself? The Chief Scientist was the brains behind the chaos, G-Toilet's right-hand man, and the mastermind behind some of the Alliance's biggest L's. The Chief first popped up in episode 16, way back when the war was young, and the tech looked like it came from some junkyard. But when he shows up again in episode 30, he's beefed up and unleashes the parasitic Skibidi, aka the hackers, one of the nastiest enemies the Alliance ever faced. His upgrades weren't for fighting, they were for cooking up crazy inventions. That's why you never see him on the front lines. But that didn't stop him from putting up one heck of a fight before going down. In the end, he meets up pretty brutal fate, taken down by all 3 Titans in one epic showdown. Fans know this battle had another big casualty. A character once seen as cold and ruthless that turned out to be one of the Alliance's most devoted soldiers, willing to do whatever it took on the battlefield to secure victory. We first meet Dark Speakerman in episode 24, when the Speakerman army marches into battle, making a rocking entrance. When we see him again, the weight of the war is heavy on his shoulders. He's a badass, out for the blood of the toilets. He's pragmatic, but once the bullets start flying and the toilet started singing, he fought for his fellow soldiers because they became his brothers. And that's exactly why he took the tough decisions upon himself. He sacrificed his brothers. He sacrificed his soul. And in the end, he gave his life for the fight. But even the crappiest side of this war has some pretty wild characters too. Unfortunately for them, none stuck around for long. Like this guy. Officially, he's Geeky Jesus Toilet. But let's be real, everyone just calls him MoistCr1TiKaL Skibidi. He shows up in episode 61, armed to the teeth with dual rocket launchers. Goes full beast mode, blasting cameras left and right. But Speakerwoman? Yeah, she wasn't exactly impressed with the size of his rocket. She blinds him and flushes him, like the absolute queen she is. I'm sorry to say, but this Geeky Jesus ain't coming back in 3 days. Short-lived, but unforgettable for the fans. Never in 1,000 years was I expecting Penguin Zero to be canon in Skibidi Toilet. We're really reaching the new levels of weird lore, aren't we? That is the lore of Skibidi Toilet. If it can get weirder, it will. Another short-lived cameo that fans wish got more screen time? This guy, Bill Tank. He rolls in on episode 72, blasting missiles at a camera strider. Looked like he had the upper hand, until he didn't. But we all know what went wrong here. Bill would have never lost if his barrier was green. Just saying. Barrier or not, the fans knew a legend when they saw one. Left 4 Dead references. Nice! I love Left 4 Dead too. But the toilets aren't the only ones pulling in Left 4 Dead 2 cameos. In episode 78, Rashelle shows up as one of the human survivors out in the Alliance's secret base.
Without your help, we wouldn't be alive and well.
Yeah, honey, you're alive and well, for now. But that gratitude didn't even last a full minute. We hear her begging for mercy before we can even see who grabbed her. That guy there is the Hunter Astro Mutant, and as he's shown, Pretty Please does not stop him from having a snack. This series is full of wild characters that come out of nowhere. Like, who the hell is Fred? We first see Fred 1.0 in episode 31. No, not that guy. This guy. Yeah, that is Fred. And he's infected big time. But don't worry, the cameras will take care of him. Wait, stop. Not like that. They're gonna disinfect him.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez. Whew. We catch a glimpse of him in a nursing lab at the end of episode 70. Him and the rest of the injured are raising a solemn salute after witnessing Plunger Man's death. And then, Fred does something that really made the fans proud. In episode 76, a TV man abandons his entire battalion on the battlefield, and not a single one makes it out. In the end, the team in the laboratory is clearly furious with TV man's decision. But Fred, he doesn't back down. He makes his opinion loud and clear. After a long wait, Fred's back in action. And I gotta say, Fred's a badass. He went full Jason on that Astro Toilet. Guess he was thirsty for action after being benched for over 40 episodes. Man came back swinging like he's never left. Unfortunately, his fight ends here. Titan TV Man joins the battle and urges the foot soldiers to run, calling on the memory of Titan Cameraman. Fred, he honors the Titan by following his example. He was never center stage, but the ones who learn his name don't forget it. Poor Fred, he will always be remembered. At least he went out as a hero. But truth be said, something this saga does well is killing off characters like a kid mashing buttons in a fighting game. No mercy, just chaos. This is war. Not everyone gets a cool exit. But hey, you don't have to be dead to be out of the game. Some just went completely insane, like Jeffrey. Wait, before we even get into that, what the hell is going on here? I think the Fuck Boom is the one who's actually going insane. Anyway, let's go back to Jeffrey. We first see him during the large TV man's dramatic speech about the mysteries buried deep in the fog. And this is Jeffrey, clearly unhinged. He resembles a normal TV man, but with two eerie tentacles trailing from his back. The rest of his body? Still a mystery, mostly hidden in the shadows, with only his screen and those tentacles visible. But what we really want to know is, how did he really get trapped in the fog? And why has no one saved that poor man? By episode 68, 123 normal cameramen were down. Size might not guarantee survival, but it sure helps. 50 large cameramen went down. As for the Speakerman army, their casualties were much lighter. 47 normal Speakermen and only 9 large Speakermen went down. down. But of course, the war's far from over. Who do you think is next in line to meet their end?